Thanks for joining the Lunch and Learn today. We're going to be talking about doing more with the team you have, really just focusing in on AI and what BCS is doing with it and what our customers are saying as well. So it's a fast 30 minutes. I want to make sure that we have a lot of time for questions at the end. But I want to start with some grounding information, what we're seeing in terms of research, industry standards, those sorts of things just at the beginning, super brief. And then I want to talk about what internally at BCS we are doing with our teams. It's one thing to share what Microsoft is doing or what customer stories are, but I really want to peek behind the curtain and be honest with what we're doing as well. I will share some real life use cases. Maybe that'll get some juices flowing. And then obviously, one big takeaway, just a big picture to wrap us up. So feel free to add questions in the chat as we go. I have people that can interrupt me, and if it makes sense, I'll address them real time. So if we haven't met, I'm Jackie Gant, CEO of BCS, Bond Consulting Services. BCS has been a Microsoft partner for 25 years now, and we primarily focus on SMB customers, so small and mid-sized businesses. What's fun is that we're SMB ourselves, which means we understand a lot of the nuance and challenges that come with being in that space. So that's why I thought when working with the team, talking about AI and everything that is around that, what better than to share our story with the things that we're doing ourselves. So here's some information from Microsoft. They often do all of these studies that share great statistics, but really the main takeaway is that AI is everywhere. We all know it already. We feel it. We're using it to plan daycare drop-offs, right? All of the things that we're touching has AI components in it nowadays, and this is just backing that up, what we're already feeling. I think the most interesting one is 91% of AI adopting SMBs say AI boosted their revenue. I mean, that's amazing, right? And we're seeing it with ourselves as well. This curve, I think we've talked about it like throughout consulting and throughout the tech space for, I don't know, decades now, but technology is always changing rapidly, and our ability as humans to adopt that technology has been kind of stable. I bring this up because I just find it fascinating that this tech in particular, I think, breaks this curve and breaks this hypothesis. So technology is still skyrocketing, to the moon. We have AI changing, it feels like almost daily. But our human adaptability, unlike adopting, a new ERP or CRM, I feel like individuals are adopting AI at an aggressive speed, way faster than we've seen any tech be adopted before. Just look at all of your friends and family and maybe your parents or your kids, all of them have been talking about AI, have at least played around with it, and that's just super unique. It's a fun and exciting time to be talking about AI and adopting tech. The other thing that's interesting is typically there's a gap between maybe like enterprise tech and SMB tech, but the gap is essentially zero right now. So month over month, SMBs are adopting more and more AI just as fast as the enterprise organizations are. So it's not just on the individual level, it's in the org-wide level that this tech is just being consumed and taken on. And it's just a really exciting time, at least for me, someone who's obsessed with change management and people taking on new things. So with all that, obviously individuals are adopting AI, organizations are adopting AI, but what is kind of missing there is that there's not a lot of governance happening. So, maybe an IT team deploys Copilot, but they're not really monitoring and correcting prompts and those sorts of things. And, or they're having this shadow IT, right? That was always a big thing, shadow IT. I feel like it's now shadow AI. And so people have their Claude and their ChatGPT, but is it actually approved from, IT, or is there a center of excellence checking these things. So this stat I thought was really interesting because not that many small businesses are actually monitoring AI in production, but they do have plans to adopt AI. So there's obviously this tech gap that's there. And so all of those stats come together with what we are hearing organically. So this is with our sales team, with our delivery team, marketing across the board. We're hearing kind of three big buckets from our clients, from our customers. The big one first is just how, right? Going back to that shadow IT idea, the team's getting pressure from the business. They want AI. They want all of this cost savings, manpower savings, all of these things, but they want it done right. How do we make sure that we have all the right governance, controls, security, monitoring, training? Like, how do we actually get Copilot, AI enabled within our org? That one to me is the fun one, but it's also the easy one, right? All of these things come direct from Microsoft, and BCS can help you do all of those really, really quickly and easily. Adoption is what we hear next. So after you have it released, most of the time, then the question becomes, how do I maximize my time savings? How do I make sure that all of my team members are leveraging the licenses that we're paying for or the things that we've deployed? That one is really more the human side, and it's a good conversation. I love having those conversations with clients. The last, and I'm seeing this tick up more and more, but it's about like vertical specialties. So they've already deployed it, they already have adoption, but now they're looking for like, what are specific use cases in my industry? So Microsoft does a great job of, the sales order agent or the payables agent, all of these things organically within all of the tools that they have. But then there's this question of, but I have this specific use case. I have this specific thing that I would love to get addressed. And so the question then comes to, build versus buy. Are there things out there already that can, like, AI can address this for me? And it really is industry specific. At BCS, we mostly, like, a big section of our client base is in manufacturing. And so we've been playing around within that space, not about releasing a product or anything like that, but just an accelerator. I think it helps keep our team savvy with being industry first and industry focused, and also helps our clients as well really maximize their AI. So that's kind of the lay of the land. What are we doing at BCS? I want our entire team, and it's important to me, we're tech consulting, right? I want our entire team to be 100% AI certified. And I am excited to share that we're almost there. I think I have just a few people left. I finally passed my exam last night, feeling pretty proud. But I want everyone to have foundational knowledge. There's some excellent sources out there. For us, being a Microsoft partner, we like the AI Business Fundamentals exam. That's the one that I took. What I'm asking my team is, any AI certification is good with me. So a lot of my developers have been doing, more advanced AI certifications there. We also are partnered with a great training organization that gives out certificates. They're really cool because they use AI to train and coach on AI. They're called PAIR. If you would like information on that, happy to share that information. So everyone on the team has basic certifications. I like that just because it forces them to think about it and take it seriously. Instead of just deploying Copilot and saying, you have a license, you need to use it, they actually need to study and take the exam and pass it. So everyone, and that includes back office, front office, everyone on the team is AI certified. We then also, with that, of course, deploy Copilot for all of our team members. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. I'm sure you can. I made this presentation using AI, and 90% of the slides were me typing into Copilot, asking for suggestions and changes. And so it really accelerated my time for this lunch and learn. I expect that from all of my teams, and I really do think as leaders, we need to lead by example. And so if I'm using it, I expect my teams to be using it. I think that's pretty important. Then one step further, we do use Business Central and customer engagement or CRM internally. I think that's important to note. And we are using the out-of-the-box agents. Most of it is on the sales agent, one of the more longer standing Microsoft AI pieces that sits in CE. That's what I use the most. But we are using AI in our business apps, how to run our business. And then lastly, we also do some custom Copilot things. I'll show that on the next slide. But we really wanted to expand our sales capabilities. We were in a situation where I want to, hire more sellers, hire more capabilities, but I also wanted to make sure I could maximize the team that I already had. And so doing a custom Copilot and enabling the sales team is really where we landed. So with that, okay, so we've deployed a custom Copilot agent to our website, really with the idea of, I want to make sure that I meet our prospects and our customers where they're at. I'm seeing that so much research and so much energy goes into understanding if you even want to talk to a partner before engaging with them. And a lot of our sales team time was around initial scheduling, getting that person connected, walking through super basic stuff. For example, we don't do finance and operations. That's more of an enterprise ERP solution from Microsoft. But sometimes a prospect will come to us and they want F&O, and we will happily refer out. But giving a customer this ability to chat with our scout, our custom AI agent, would help them get to the right spot a lot sooner. So, I think a lot of times people come to us and just want rough pricing to understand budget for next year. Like maybe it's not even a project for this year. And so they're going to be able to do that. There is a question out there, I wouldn't say this isn't unique or anything like that. There are things that you can buy that do this. I went with the build route because it's so easy. Our teams are already doing it. We already have, Copilot installed. It already knows all of the information from BCS, all of our knowledge base. So it just made sense. It's what we use every day. But it's pretty great. Still working out a few small details here and there, but we're excited that it's ready to launch. Okay, so that's what we're doing internally at BCS. I do want to share some customer stories about, what's actually out there in the wild. And I think I'll actually start with 3 because it kind of highlights other stuff as well. But basically, there's this one customer that matches a lot of unstructured data between suppliers and buyers. So they have all of this inventory that's not actually theirs, and they get lists from both sides. And they're really just that broker in the middle. And so in today's world, they are painfully, manually looking at these things in CRM and Excel and all of these things, and they have people trying to match it up to make sure that the pricing all works out. AI is replacing all of that, right? They're using Copilot, using CRM, using the full Microsoft stack, and it's really providing recommendations for their sales team. Instead of having this whole analyst group build it and look at it, and it's taking, day, 2 days to turn things around, we're looking at, minutes for them to get some sort of recommendation. There's other things too. So anytime that we have data coming in that is not the exact perfect layout, that's a great use case for AI. So that would be the first two as a perfect example. So the timesheet loader, getting timesheets from various third-party sources, they come in via email, whatever, and having AI read that correctly and put it into CRM so that we can do all of our, business activities and whatever. That's been working out really great. Same idea with invoicing, right? We get all of these accounts payable invoices, and we can have them mapped directly into Business Central. There's a ton of ISVs with Business Central that are leaning heavily into AI for things like this. So on the BCS side, we partner, with Continia, a whole bunch of other great, amazing ISVs. And for that, we like to just refer to the best in breed and then get it installed. There's countless other examples. Some like I have at the bottom there, some are custom built, some are already, you just pay for the license and get it installed. But yeah, a lot of our customers are really leaning in to AI right now, and it's an exciting time to see what's going on. So, like I said, I wanted to leave plenty of time for Q&A and questions. I, hope to answer as many as possible. There's quite a few things that we have going on next. So we're sponsoring DynamicsCon. If you're in Vegas, I would love to see you. That is May 12th through 15th. A whole bunch of us are going, actually. So it would be fantastic if you're able to stop by, shoot us a note. Additionally, we are doing a webinar coming up soon with Avalara, one of our fantastic ISV partners. Sales Tax Works until it doesn't. So that would be a fantastic one for you to join as well. As mentioned, I'm Jackie Gant at the beginning. You can always email me at any time. I love hearing from customers, really anyone, or you can always email our sales team. So I did see that there were a few questions in the chat. I'll have one of my team members read one out if that works, or I can as well. Maybe Emily or Monica, if you could read the question out.
Yeah, of course. The question that came in was, what's something AI is genuinely bad at that people keep trying to use it for?
Oh, well, I don't know if people are using it for this, but I find it pretty funny that so my husband is also in the space, and we often, put things like calendar holds on each other's calendars. An example is our daughter goes to ballet. And so, on Saturday mornings, we have a block for ballet, and Copilot likes to inform me that I need to prepare my, AI talking notes so that we have a good industry meeting at the ballet. And it is just funny that it hasn't quite caught on that we're spouses. So I think there's some things there, right? Like it's obviously picking up on where he works, what he does, where I work, what I do, and trying its best at a recommendation. But, sometimes those social nuances are not quite there, which actually reminds me of a great story. I listened to this podcast. I'll have to share it out, but it was about AI in healthcare. So there was this company that and I wish I remembered the name, but they built a whole bunch of agents for healthcare. So, when people had a heat wave in Phoenix, they were able to deploy these AI nurses to call everyone over 70 to remind them to drink water and know where your local hospital is so that no one died of heat stroke. But what the CEO of that company said, they were unable to make an AI agent for hospice nurse care because it's too human. It's too emotional. It's too, hospice care is hard for everything. And so it was the one nursing agent that they just couldn't do. So I guess that'd be my answer, right? Like anything that's superhuman, it's just it can't pick up on those nuances. Hopefully
Thank you,
that
Jackie.
makes sense. Yeah.
And the other question that came in is if I use AI Copilot, how do I know my data is protected?
Oh, that's a great one. So the good news with Microsoft is that it's all building upon itself, right? And I wish, did I have a slide on that? Let me look real quick. No, I can just leave it here, maybe. Yeah, I'll just leave it on the thank you one. So with that, it's using the same underlying security as it does for your SharePoint and your email and all of that. So you're getting all the richness of Microsoft security and all of the robust security features that are available. It also protects against like sensitivity labels. So if I have access to everything in the org, that I have access to, it can start to reference those things, but it's not going to if it's a confidential file or if it's something that is specific to a different individual. So it's secure externally, really making sure that your data stays with you, but it's also personal within the org. So I can't see something that I don't have permissions to see. So it's really good about that. On top of that, it also never uses your data or your company information to train the AI model. And I think Microsoft is really proud about that. Other questions?
Can also take you off mute too if you want to ask Jackie
Yeah.
live.
By group. It's probably because it's lunchtime and I moved it 30 minutes. All right. Well, thank you so much for the time. If there's nothing else, I really hope that we get to connect again. Reach out at any time. I would love to talk about your AI journey, AI adoption, any of the challenges that you guys have. And thank you all for the time and for joining us over lunch.
Ooh, Jackie, we have a hand raiser.
I love a hand raiser. I'm ready.
Allow Mike. Okay, go Mike. Oh, wait. You should be good. Maybe not. No camera. Just clicking buttons like I can make him a presenter. Oh no, Mike. I don't know how to get you to unmute. Allow Mike.
Let's see. There we go.
Yay.
Oh, perfect. Yay. Hi, Mike.
So this is kind of a tongue-in-cheek, but as AI progresses, when are we going to stop needing Bond and all of its consultants to take care of our systems?
I mean, yeah, it's a great question, right? So it is something that keeps me up at night, right? I have a team that knows the Microsoft product and have been doing GP, BC, CE for decades, right? Soon here, their knowledge and expertise, I hate to say it, but on some level it is a little adapt or die, right? So
Yeah.
as a leader for a consulting firm, I need my teams to adapt and they need to love and embrace AI because that's the evolution of our work, right? It's that human side. So the things that, yes, I'm having everyone get AI certified, but the secondary level and the tone that our org is, it's back to that nursing example. Like what's not going to be replaced is the conversation, is the people, is being an advisor, right? Hey, this is what I saw at a competitor of yours, and this is what worked and didn't work, and let me consult you. So I guess to be more succinct, what BCS is doing is getting back to being consultants and really providing that opinion, right? But you're dead on. AI is changing and adapting and moving so quickly that a lot of like low hanging things, like we don't do those anymore.
Right. So, we're working with Boyd on a project with AI involved. And, the more I read up on it, I'm a developer from many years. I'm
Yeah.
been in the industry for over 40 years. So what it's doing though is frightening a lot of people to stay out of our industry. I mean, we read the newspapers, there's going to be 2 jobs left in the world when AI takes over, all that stuff. And
Mhm.
the candidates looking to go into college and all these other places are now just kind of deer in the headlights. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a shame because, it should be facilitating people to get into this stuff rather than scaring them and becoming, well, I'll be a garbage collector because I'll be safe. So that's
Yeah.
the downside I see of all this going on. But no, I appreciate your comments. And it is, I mean, all of us, there's a lot of developer folks that I've known in the past that luckily have now retired, so they're not worried about any of this stuff. But there's a lot of guys growing up that are developers wondering, should I keep pushing my education or not? So something to consider, I guess.
Yeah. Like coding, prompt engineering, all of that, right? Like instead of spending years learning C# or whatever else, right? You're like, hey, Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, can you build this code for me? And it spits out an app within an hour, right?
Yeah.
Another thing too that it just triggered for me, something that I've picked up on is individuals that are having a hard time getting the output from AI that they want, or, not leveraging it the best. Most of the time, we're finding that their communication style actually, like, they need help on the soft skill side. They're conversing with Copilot or whatever, pick your AI, and they just aren't fully adopting it because they're like, oh, there's these issues, it can't do this, can't do that, whatever. Most of the time that's because they're bad communicators. And, so things like that I think are interesting too. There's really probably going to be like this renaissance around like the arts, right? Like what is actually good messaging, what is good art, what is good communication, good language, those sorts of things. Which, could be nice. But yeah, I think it's got to be a hard time for those that just, maybe are only 5 years out of school that, spent a lot of their time, not embracing AI, right?
Oh, yeah. So I had a comment and it just got away, but I've used AI we have a business central implementation and what we would refer to as our CRM system, which is our customer support or whatever Microsoft moniker is for it right now. And they're integrated together. Boyd helped us integrate them. And I've done a little development in AL with which is the BC language.
Yeah.
And used BC code to do a lot of the general writing of the code that we needed, but they always needed to work it over and tweak it. Generally, there were problems with certain things or performance or whatever that you had to have some expertise at. So some of that's probably going to get better as the models get smarter and smarter. But it is an interesting time. I was lucky enough to get into computers when I was very young and quite a long time ago and managed to stay in the business. And it's a big challenge for the youth growing up today, not able to really lock into something and go with it. But I think AI will probably solve some of those problems. And you're right, communication is a big deal. I find that people that have had database experience quickly adapt prompt engineering type work. They understand how to write queries and other stuff, so they already understand what's happening underneath, and their language can be used to facilitate creating really good prompts. Didn't take very long for me to really start writing prompts after a few classes, and maybe that's something that even prompt engineering, though, I guess, is starting to slowly fall to the wayside as the models get smarter, they get more intelligent on the people that are poor communicators. But all things considered, it is an exciting time, and everybody's got to keep working to expand their knowledge base. And but just as a side comment, we are happy with what Boyd has done with us in the past, and look forward to a few more projects with them in the future.
Amazing. Well, look at that. Thank you, Mike, for asking questions and continuing the dialogue. I know we only had 30 minutes, but I am more than happy to stay on longer for any other discussion. Okay, well, it sounds like everyone's kind of quiet there. Thank you everyone for joining. I appreciated the time, and hopefully we'll stay in touch. Have a great rest of your day.